In this video, I'll show you the complete electrical setup in my Caddy Maxi micro camper. It's a budget setup. It's nothing fancy, but honestly, it's all you need in a van this size. And make sure to stick around to the end, where I'll share with you some of my best tips and some of the things that I wish I'd done differently, which will probably save you a lot of hassle. I'll also be adding a price breakdown at the end of this video. It's been heavily requested, and I feel like you guys kind of want to know how much I paid for all the electrical components. So at the end of this video will also be a complete price breakdown of everything I bought with regards to electrics. Here we have my 2014 Caddy Maxi micro camper build. The whole thing cost me under 500 quid. If you want to see how I built it from scratch, the full build video is on my channel. But for now, welcome to the electrical walkthrough. So, the first thing I did was run a length of 16mm red and black cable from the leisure battery straight to where the DC to DC charger was going to be. This is the Renogy DC-DC charger. Simple box, big job. It charges my 110 amp hour leisure battery from the alternator when I'm driving. Just make sure you fuse both sides with 50 amp fuses, otherwise it's basically an expensive smoke machine. The 110 amp hour leisure battery. Heavy, reliable, and basically the heart of the whole setup. Everything is wired into 3-way battery connector terminals. They're neat, solid, and they stop everything looking like I bodged it in a Halfords car park. Then a 6-way fuse box, so every circuit is protected. It means if something stops working, you only have one fuse to check instead of ripping the whole van apart. From there, the concealed cables run up to a 5-way switchboard with blue LEDs and a voltage reader. Now these things are absolutely great during the day, but at night, it kind of feels like you're trying to sleep in a budget nightclub. But don't worry, because I'll show you how to fix that a little bit later on. I've got a 12-volt tap in here as well. It's basic, but it does the job, and it saves carrying a load of water bottles around. So as you can see, the lighting is sorted with 4 3-watt dimmable LED spotlights. 4 of these is more than enough for a van this size. To be honest, I think 2 might have done the trick. And a little solar fan to keep the air moving. It's cheap, it's easy, and it runs on its own. These little fans are fantastic, and also they don't use any power from the battery. But the best part is they're stealthy, and no one can really see that they're on the van. I've also got a set of LED strip lighting around the top of the van. Now the reason I love these LED strip lights so much is because they give off just the right amount of light. You've got the controller here that controls the brightness, the colour, and pop that back on a normal colour actually, white. And you can turn them off without getting out of bed, obviously, which is the main thing. So these are really good. They're better than the spotlights. The spotlights kind of, I don't know, they're good and they're really bright, but of an evening, these LED strip lights are definitely the one. Now, tips and regrets. Here's the bit that will save you time, money, and probably some sleep. First off, planning is key. Make sure you've got a solid plan of what you want, where everything's going, and think about future-proofing it before you even start. Speaking of future-proofing, run a couple of spare cables from the battery up to the main switchboard. Future you will thank present you when you want to add a few bits later on. Finally, and in my opinion the best tip I can offer, is to wire your voltage meter to position number 1 on the switchboard so that you can switch off those blue lights and get yourself a good night's sleep. Because there's nothing worse than being kept awake by those annoying blue lights. Moving on to regrets. One of my biggest regrets is not putting a flexible solar panel up on the roof. Now, even though it might have given away the stealth of the van ever so slightly, what it would have meant is if I'm static for a few days, battery would have stayed topped up without me having to run the engine for hours. The flexible solar panels are pretty cheap and they're easy to install as well. So future micro camper builds, I will be putting a flexible solar panel up on the roof. Secondly is not installing an inverter and a little 240 volt tube heater up on the wall somewhere. Now, this isn't my idea, I can't take credit for this. Diesel heaters are the things I've used in the past. But there's a guy on here, Ads Ventures. If you watch van and caddy stuff, you've probably seen his stuff. Now, I've started watching his stuff recently, and I noticed that he put a tube heater in his caddy. I think it's a fantastic idea, and going forward, I will probably be adding that to my micro camper builds so that I don't die of hypothermia in the winter. Moving on to one of my favourite tips now. And this tip is regarding this ceiling light here. Now it might seem pointless keeping this, but what it actually means is that when you open your door of a night time and your actual spotlights and bits like that aren't on, let me switch them off. And I open the side door, we've got a light in here, so we can see what we're doing, which then allows us to turn our actual lights on. Also, change the bulb in this to an LED. I haven't got around to doing that yet, so this still uses more battery than it needs to. But yeah, that's a cool little tip. Not many people know that, not many people do it, but it saves you in the middle of the night, opening your door, not being able to see what you're doing, or having to get your phone torch out and everything like that. And finally, my third regret is not putting enough USB sockets everywhere in the van. I've said it on a previous video and I stand by it to this day. All I've got is these here. I know you can put adapters in there and stuff, but it's so frustrating. Put USBs everywhere. Honestly, if you think you need 10, put 20 in. It's one of those things that everything, we're in 2025, everything needs charging. So USBs, USB-Cs, wherever you can put them. I managed to pick the DC to DC charger up for around 100 quid on the Renogy website. All of the inline fuses cost me around about 10 quid. I got 4 3-watt LED spotlights on Amazon for around 14 or 15 quid. The 6-way fuse box I picked up off eBay and that was £8. All of the cable in total cost me around about 30 quid, and that includes the 1.5mm cable in the back and the battery cable too. LED strip lights were from Amazon and they were £14. The 12-volt tap, I bought it with the kit which came with all the waste and water bottles too, but individually the tap alone costs around 15 quid. The solar fan came from Amazon and that was 30 quid. Switch panel, now these are available loads of different places, but I got mine off Amazon and it was around 20 quid. The particular leisure battery that I got was a 110 amp hour AGM battery. It's important you do a little bit of research as to what battery you want. The lithium batteries have got a lot more longevity to them and you can deplete them slightly more than you can with the AGMs. But the initial layout, the AGM batteries are a lot cheaper, so that's what I went with. So all in, the total cost for the electrics in this build were around 341 quid, give or take a few pounds either way. So there you have it. That's my budget electrical setup for any micro camper, with the tips that I'd recommend and the mistakes I'd try and avoid. Hopefully it saves you a few headaches, or at least keeps you a little bit warmer than me in the winter.